What's up, Rockstar? Boom! Hey! This week's SMB Cybersecurity Authority tip of the week is backups. And you're going to be like, bro, everybody backs up. How could you possibly have any tips on backups? Well, I can tell you there's two important parts of your backup that you need to be paying attention to and that we find all the time when we're out there talking to companies, and whether they're prospects, new customers, existing customers, we always get around to talking about backups. And these 2 points come up all the time. And they are: one, is your backup strategy? What is it? Do you have a backup strategy other than, and this is what we see almost every single time, your backup strategy is, yes, I back everything up. But what do you do with the backups? Where are you putting those backups? How are you backing those up? But truly, what is your strategy? What we highly recommend is the 3-2-1. 3, 2, 1. 3 being 3 copies of your data. 1 being your production data. 2 being backup to whether it's in a cloud-based backup or something that you keep on site. If you're still running some servers and some things, storage on site, you have a backup on site that is a live, almost continuous backup. That's something that you could have in place as well, or something that is done on a daily basis that is backed up to your cloud storage area. The 1 being you have a copy you have a backup copy that is saved somewhere else, that is offline. It is segregated from your current network. It's something that is saved to a completely, you think of air gap kind of backup. It doesn't have to be air gap specifically, but something that is segregated offline backup that only comes online whenever the backup happens, and then it goes back offline and is not accessible during regular business hours. And there's a specific way that you're actually able to connect to and access that backup rather than just in your everyday functionality within your organization. So 3, 2, 1 backup strategy. 3 being 3 copies of your data. 2 being 1 copy is saved remotely. 1 is saved whether it's live or somewhere else, and then you have that 1 that is completely segregated. So the other piece being, when is the last time, think about this for a second, when is the last time you actually tested your backups? Almost nobody tests their backups. And that's the part that I really want to drive home and share with you today, and make sure that you have some type of a strategy, a plan around testing your backups. Now, restoring a file from a backup, when you have an end user's like, oh, I deleted this file and I can't find it anymore, can you restore it for me? Restoring those files does not constitute testing your backups. Or you have something like, hey, we had a server go down. We brought the server back up from a copy that we had on as part of our backups. That does not constitute testing your backups. There have been numerous instances where we've been called in to help a company that is trying to, whether it's a ransomware attack, or they've had some type of a malicious activity, or even just it's a standard, hey, our system went down, we had hard drives crash, or we had our cloud-based instance got corrupted, we need to restore a backup. They'll bring us in to help them do that. And usually whenever we go to do that, I can tell you almost more times than not, the backup that they have doesn't work in restoring their environment. Typically, we have to go through some type of other activity. We have to do a whole bunch more work to get those backups restored into their environment because they haven't been tested. I've seen instances where folks that are still using tapes, and yes, folks are still using tapes. That's actually a great way to keep your segregated offline backups. That's a great strategy. It's expensive, and there's a lot of administrative overhead with that, but it is a great strategy because it's truly segregated. But folks that are using tapes, I've seen instances. In fact, back in the day when I was a network administrator, I had this happen to me. I had a tape drive that the head was a little bit crooked. and didn't realize it worked in backing up the tapes. It could back them up, but on the restoration, that little twist, a little bend, a little off center on that head that reads the tapes was off, and it wiped out all the tapes. And so we had no backups. And so we had to build from scratch. So testing your backups is critical. Have some type of activity that you do on a regular basis. I recommend at least twice a year. Quarterly would be ideal, but at least twice a year, test your backups. And it can be something where you spin up a virtual environment and you take your segregated backups, because those are really the ones you want to make sure are the most are able to restore from, because those are your most critical backups. That's when everything else has failed. But you want to make sure those work. Truly, you want to test all versions of your backup. So that's why I recommend 2, because you have your production version, you have your online version, and then you have offline version. And so you want to test each one of those backup versions at least once a year. So have some type of an activity. It can be during a holiday. It can be during a downtime. It can be on a weekend, whatever it might be. Depending on your industry, you may have a period of time where you have a specific downtime to where there might be regular maintenance. If you're in a manufacturing environment, you might have a time period where for several weeks during your slow time, where you actually take everything offline and they're doing things within the manufacturing facility, where you could actually run your backup tests then, run that exercise then. So two things to remember. One is, what's your backup strategy? 3, 2, 1, if I can get my fingers to work right. And test your backups. If you're not doing the 3, 2, 1 strategy, definitely get some type of a program put together to where you're testing your backups on a regular basis. This is also has become part of the cyber insurance requirement, is ensuring that you do have backups, and that I know there are some carriers out there that are actually requiring companies to show documentation of having run the exercise of testing their backups. So if you want to work out a strategy, or you want some more ideas on exactly how you can do that, please reach out. Can definitely help you along that pathway, being able to figure out what kind of strategy works best for your environment, and then also help you set up those types of exercises on testing your backup. But you definitely want to run a full version. Oh, one other thing too, I almost forgot about this. On your test, and this for folks that are actually, I test my backups. We brought them back up online. Everything came back up online and it's working. That's usually how far most people go whenever they're testing their backups, when the folks that actually do test them. The key that you want to make sure that you're doing as part of that exercise is make sure that people are actually able, your end users, not you as the administrator, not your executives. You want to make sure your end users, the people are actually going to have to use that version of that restored backup. Make sure that they're able to log in and actually able to do their job. So that is included as part of the exercise. So we can definitely help you build out that whole strategy on not only making sure that your backups are getting done consistently using the 3, 2, 1 method, but we can also help you with developing the strategy and really helping you execute and run those exercises as well on testing your backups as well. So hopefully you got some value from this. Security tip of this week is your backups, and make sure they're on point, because I bet you're not testing your backups. And if you are testing them, you're not making sure that people can log in and actually do their job.